breaking news. The search for two young York County girls comes to an end.
Everyone that's been involved with this absolutely devastating incident.
Which also ends the search for Robert Vicosa.
All four individuals appeared to have suffered apparent gunshot wounds.
After nearly a week of violent acts and police chases, what we're learning about the suspects involved and how the events seemingly came to an end today.
This is a very, very fluid investigation.
We're following the breaking news this evening as the search for Robert Vicosa is over. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Madeline Cudahy. We have just been given the latest update from the Maryland State Police as the 42-year-old was accused of abducting his two daughters in York County and had been on the run since Monday. Maryland State Police have now confirmed that that was an apparent murder-suicide and has positively identified those four victims. Fox 43's Harry Lee joins us live from the scene where the car police Vicosa crashed in was earlier today in Washington County, Maryland. Harry, what's the latest?
Well, Madeline, there is now a conclusion to the four-day manhunt for Vicosa as well as his daughters, Amina and Gianna. Police have now confirmed that they, along with Tia Bynum, were the people in the car that crashed right behind me. I'm going to give you a look. You can see that it crashed into this bush, and also a small setup of an angel statue has been set up underneath. The four-day crime spree stretched across state lines, ending Thursday afternoon just over the Maryland border.
Shortly after crossing into Maryland, the vehicle traveled off of the highway and struck a fence line.
Police surrounded the car while a crisis response team tried to make contact with anyone inside. But the car was filled with smoke and no one came out.
After receiving no response, police made entry into the passenger side.
That's when they found a woman in the driver's seat and a man and two young girls in the back seat.
All four individuals appeared to have suffered apparent gunshot wounds.
Both adults and one of the girls were pronounced dead on scene. The other girl was flown to a hospital in Hagerstown, where she was also pronounced dead.
We are really working hard to understand what occurred.
The crash follows days of searching for Vicosa after police say he attacked his estranged wife and carjacked several people at gunpoint. The road has been completely cleared and there are no more official law enforcement on scene. Live in Washington County, Maryland, Harry Lee, Fox 43 News.
Harry, thank you so much for your reporting there. This video right now from the scene of the crash earlier today in Washington County, Maryland. Maryland State Police loaded the car involved in the incident onto a tow truck. This is the vehicle in which police say Vicosa, Bynum, and one of the four children were found dead. Now, all of this started on Friday, but again, this release coming from Maryland State Police tonight, positively identifying Bynum, Vicosa, and the two girls as the deceased from the car. You can see the map that we're looking at there. That's where the vehicle was found, and the various incidents that we've been going through in this evening. As Friday, this all began where Vicosa and Bynum held Vicosa's ex-wife hostage at gunpoint for days in her Windsor Township home. The pair then stole the ex's car, took the couple's kids, Gianna and Amina. On Tuesday, then, Vicosa and Bynum had crashed the car at a house in Windsor Township, held a homeowner there at gunpoint for her car. Then Wednesday, the pair carjacked another man near Cockeysville, Maryland. Pennsylvania State Police said they tried to initiate a chase in Waynesboro, Franklin County, and we're learning more about that tonight. That suspected that vehicle, then the crash ending in Washington County, Maryland. They say special tactical assault team elements, state and the crisis negotiation team, they tried to get into the car. They made verbal requests. None were made. They actually attempted to gain access to the vehicle by firing two 40-millimeter sponge rounds to break the front passenger side of that window, which was found because they saw that the front passenger seat was unoccupied. At this point, troopers said they could see the driver was incapacitated with those apparent gunshot wounds. Now, officials here in South Central Pennsylvania tonight also speaking on the conclusion of the events in the days-long search for Robert Vicosa and the young girls.
Everyone that's been involved with this absolutely devastating incident. There are just, they're devastated at this absolute tragedy, and our condolences go out to every single person that has been impacted by this.
That's York County District Attorney Dave Sunday speaking with York Area Regional Police. York Area Regional is the original responding department to the Vicosa incident that started in Windsor Township last Friday. Deputies from the U.S. Marshal Service, officers from Baltimore County Police, they were also there. This is Maryland Governor Larry Hogan also offering a response to the series of events that occurred in the state today of Maryland. Governor Hogan saying, quote, "We are grieving tonight over the unfathomable loss of 2 innocent children in what clearly is a horrific tragedy and a heinous crime." Hogan adding Maryland State Police have begun what will be a thorough investigation. And locals have reached out to Fox 43 News saying they plan on having a vigil in honor of the Vicosa girls in their Windsor Township neighborhood. It will be on Pleader Lane in the Taylor Estates development. That's expected to happen tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. And of course, you can expect more coverage on today's events, as well as this developing news, this press release that we have just been given. That'll happen more at 10:30. And we'll have more on Vicosa's accomplice, former Baltimore County Sergeant Tia Bynum, now positively identified as the deceased driver of that car, and a detailed timeline leading in to what happened to that crash today. And for the latest information at all times, you can always head to fox43.com. Tonight, the search is over for 2 young York County girls and the 2 former Maryland police officers accused of abducting them. Authorities tonight confirming the deaths of all 4 people in that incident following a car chase through parts of Pennsylvania and Maryland in what Maryland police say was an apparent murder-suicide. Thanks so much for staying with us this evening. I'm Madeline Cudahy. The chase for Vicosa, Tia Bynum, and Vicosa's 2 daughters ending today with a crash in Washington County. Police say all 4 had apparent gunshot wounds.
The Maryland State Police arrived and assisted the other agencies on scene and approached the vehicle. Upon approach of the vehicle, they found multiple fatalities inside the vehicle.
That's York County Chief of Police Timothy Damon giving an update on the situation earlier this evening. And this all began last Friday, where Vicosa and Bynum held Vicosa's ex-wife hostage at gunpoint for days in her Windsor Township home. The pair then stole the ex-wife's car and took the couple's kids, Gianna and Amina. In that time, Vicosa and Bynum crashed that car and then held 2 more people at gunpoint in both Pennsylvania and Maryland to switch vehicles. Pennsylvania State Police tried to initiate a chase in Waynesboro and Franklin County, and the chase ended with a crash in Washington County, Maryland. Tonight, police say the motive for the incident has not been identified. And as we've mentioned, both Vicosa and Bynum served as high-ranking officers with the Baltimore County Police Department at one point. Authorities say that made their efforts in the days-long search more challenging.
I can certainly say that when we have a situation that involves police officers or former law enforcement officers, our challenges are significant.
Vicosa was an officer with Baltimore County for about 17 years before being fired this August. He was hired in 2004, but Vicosa was found guilty of sleeping on the job, insubordination, and, quote, conduct unbecoming of an officer. A few weeks after his termination, his estranged wife, Marissa, filed for custody of their 2 children in York County. As of October, they shared legal custody of the girls, and Vicosa has since violated that agreement. And who is the accused accomplice? Well, that's Police Sergeant Tia Bynum. Mike Valerio has that more for us on her as the Baltimore County Police, where she worked up in just until a few days ago.
Well, that's right, and Sergeant Tia Bynum was working here for the past 14 years, and she was part of one of the more prestigious divisions of county police. But as soon as investigators figured out that she was part of this abduction, part of these kidnappings, they suspended her on Wednesday. So taking you into exactly what we know about Sergeant Bynum. Again, 14-year veteran of the force, and she worked for the Criminal Investigations Division, which handles the major investigations, the more high-profile cases here of Baltimore County Police. Taking you back into the timeline of events here, things ramp up as far as she is concerned on Sunday when investigators go to her home in Windsor Township, about 4 miles away from where the kidnappings happened, and they try to interview her. So according to police documents, they go up to her home. She answers with a weapon on a side holster, and she's asked if she knows what exactly is going on here. She lies, according to police, and says, no, I saw the ex-officer. I saw his estranged wife at the home. Nothing bad was going on, and I don't know what's going on. Of course, that all turns out to be lies, and as soon as investigators really figure that out on Tuesday when they go to see her once more, she's nowhere to be found at her home in Windsor Township. She's on the run already. That's when the top brass here at the County Police Department suspends her without pay. County Police, for their part, earlier today have said that it is so supremely hard for all of them to be investigating one of their own, especially considering how this case ended up with the crimes so heinous. But that's the latest here. Reporting in Towson, Maryland, I'm Mike Valerio reporting for Fox 43 News.
We, of course, will continue to update this story online at fox43.com and on our Fox 43 app. If you don't have that yet, getting it simple to do. Just text us the word app to 717-843-0043 and we'll text you a download link back.